When PSU Athletics expanded the Hall of Fame to include legacy honorees in 2005, the primary intent of the expansion was to honor men and women who made a profound impact to the school during its first 50 years. There's no doubt that our first honoree today fits that bill, and he's continued to leave his mark even 60 years later. War hero, basketball standout, civic leader, ardent supporter. Homer Cole has just about done it all. With his unique personality and his unique love for the city of Pittsburgh and Pittsburg State University. Before he even set foot on the PSU campus or laced up his shoes for legendary basketball coach John Lance, Homer Cole had experienced immeasurably more than the average college freshman. Serving his country in the United States Air Force, Cole flew a total of 19 missions in the European theater of World War II. On his 18th mission, his plane was shot down on a bombing mission over Brandenburg, Germany on April 10, 1945. Riddled with 124 holes, Cole's plane was forced into an emergency landing in Brussels, Belgium. Following the war, he returned home fully decorated, receiving among a host of honors the Purple Heart, the World War II Victory Medal, the Air Combat Medal, and the American Theater and European, African, Middle Eastern ribbons.
One of the things as a history teacher, one of the things I've always admired and wanted to hear about, and if you know Homer, he'll tell a lot of stories about his war days in World War II, and so I actually really enjoyed, as a fighter pilot, him sharing some of his memories, some of his stories. I get a kick out of those and find them to be extremely insightful to the type of person that Homer is. I commend him on his service to our country, his service to Pittsburg State, and the continuing support of our program. It means the world to us, and I'm very blessed to have Homer as part of Pittsburg State family, and especially in men's basketball.
After the war, Cole focused on his education and a college basketball career. He played for 5 seasons for the Gorillas from 1945 to 1950, taking the court in a school record 110 career games, a mark that stood for nearly 50 years. Following college, he taught in central Kansas before running bowling alleys in Missouri and Oklahoma, along with his late wife of 63 years, Evelyn. The couple returned to their hometown, Pittsburgh, to do the same in 1966. And along the way, Cole also enjoyed a career as a football and basketball official. Public service also called, and Cole served a 4-year stint as Pittsburgh City Commissioner from 1987 to 1991, including serving 1 year as city mayor. During his tenure on the commission, he became known as a staunch advocate for senior citizens, and years later, the Homer G. Cole Senior Citizen Building was named in his honor. He also has been tremendously active in the local Elks Lodge, raising scholarship monies for area youth and supporting numerous charitable efforts in the community.
I think if you know Homer, you can see why he was elected mayor of Pittsburgh. I think that's a pretty special honor, speaks very highly of him. Also the Homer Cole Senior Center here in Pittsburgh. The community does a lot of great service things for the elderly in the community. And, a person who continues to give back to his community after, I think Homer would tell you that he's received much from Pittsburgh, and I think his ability to give back is a very important quality that he has.
While he eventually retired from his professional careers, Cole has continued to pursue his passion of supporting Pittsburg State University and the Gorillas, sometimes to the chagrin of his referee comrades.
Well, first of all, we'd really like to congratulate Homer Cole on this awesome achievement and being inducted in the Pittsburg State Hall of Fame. He deserves it. The thing that Homer brings to the table for some of us people that have been here only 4 or 5 years is that he makes every new coach at Pittsburg State feel welcome, and believe me, he will call your phone 20 to 30 times until you answer it, and then you got a friend right off the bat. But we need to teach Homer how to text message, and then I think he'll be set for the Hall of Fame. But Homer's he brings passion to Pittsburg State basketball. you know, when Homer's at a game, you're going to know it, and the refs know it too. And that's kind of what Homer's known for. Is he really rides the refs. He jokes with them throughout the games. But you know, being a former player at Pittsburg State, and to see his passion that he has for this university and for the basketball community, the football community, all the sports at Pittsburg State, but especially in basketball, the love that he has for the game, not only for the men's program but for the women's program as well. It's awesome to see that, you know, a guy that's been around Pittsburg State since the 50s still has that same passion on a day-to-day basis.
Well, I've known Homer since my first stint here at Pittsburg State back in the early 90s, and got to know him on a fairly good basis then. And when I came back here 2 years ago, one of the first people to greet me and welcome me back was Homer Cole. And I think Homer, in my opinion, Homer personifies what Pittsburg State athletics is about, and that's about family. His ties and his genuine interest in how this program does is as strong as any fan that I think you're going to see around the country. He loves Pittsburg State, and he treats us like his family. And I know if you know Homer and you talk to Homer, you know that his family is the most important thing to him in his life. And that goes for his son, his daughter, his grandkids, his great-grandkids, right down the line. And I'd probably be remiss if I didn't mention his wife, Evelyn. And you know, with the passing of Evelyn, it was a very difficult time for Homer, but he loved his wife, you know, the way that I would want to be remembered for loving my wife, and he cared very deeply about her. And I know they were a really tight connection, but you know, what they've meant to Pittsburg State athletics is extremely huge, and we're very, very honored, very fortunate. You know, not just him as a player, but their continued support, and so it goes a long way. And he has a personal relationship with some of our players, and talks to them regularly, and I think that's important. That our players are able to see a person who's tied into our program, a former player, and I think that's good for them to be able to reach out and communicate and do those things.
Many notable citizens have been honored for embodying the spirit of Pittsburgh over the years. In similar ways, the Hall of Fame recognizes men and women who embody the spirit of Pittsburg State University, and it's fitting today to welcome Homer G. Cole into this elite circle.
Well, Homer, you're in trouble now. I get to talk about you. But seriously, this guy is one of the greatest guys I've ever met. He's not only a great athlete and had a tremendous career at Pitt State in basketball, but he's a guy that cares about people, he cares about the community. He was the mainstay and developer of the Senior Citizen Center, and he works through our church, and he's very active in lots of community affairs. He's been a stronghold for the Elks through the years, and he's got just a tremendous heart. And he's got a great family. But this guy is devoted, he's committed. Maybe we ought to commit him, but anyway, he's one of my best friends, and he calls me his younger brother, and I call him my much older brother, but maybe that much. Anyway, Homer, I hope you have a great day, and we're so proud of you and glad that you're inducted into the Hall, and boy, being a Hall of Fame at Pittsburg State is quite an honor, and we know you're going to enjoy that. We enjoy having you there, and we hope that you keep up the good work and keep promoting. You can see him at every athletic event out here, and he's always either on the field or in the stands, and the biggest supporter of Pittsburg State, one of the biggest ones that I've ever known. So, Homer, congratulations.
Today's a great day for Homer Cole and Pittsburg State University, and it's my honor today to welcome Homer Cole to Pittsburg State Hall of Fame.
Homer, thank you for all you do and all you've done for Pittsburg State men's basketball. And we'd love to welcome you, and do welcome you with honor, to the Pittsburg State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Kevin Muff and Lane Lord and Jim Henry, and I said, hell, we do that every 2 or 3 times a month anyway. I said, it's nothing different. So we went down to Otto's for breakfast, and Dan leaned over and said, what do you do if you got something way down the line? I said, well, something I want to do, I'll make sure I get there. Well, he said, I'm talking about September the 8th. I said, I don't know what you mean. He said, Kevin, you tell Homer. Well, Kevin and Lane both started laughing and said, we're going to put you in the Hall of Fame. And I thought they was pulling my leg because they were both laughing so hard. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, they finally said, no, it's true. And I just couldn't believe it. I was in heaven for a couple, 3 days. But I just wanted to tell you one other thing. I miss my wife because she was riding up with me for years. She was a good athlete, and I met her in 1942, and I knew she was going to be my partner. So when I got back out of service, I met with her, and we got married on Thanksgiving Day, and Coach Lance let me have 2 days off for marriage, and I had to be back for Saturday to practice. But anyway, I'm so lucky to have, I had her like 2 months, I had 64 years with her. She was a good athlete. She played basketball, semi-pro basketball, she was baseball, softball catch, and shortstop, and she bowled. And I'll tell you one thing about bowling. We had a deal, whoever had the highest series during the week, the other had the nieces. And I had knee force her hands. But I ran bowling out at Oak Logan and Shawnee, and some of you have heard this, but I've got to tell it. I bowled a 289 and a 723 series, and I go back and tell her on Thursday that I got a higher game and a higher series. She said, well, wait till Saturday night. Well, of all nights, the sports editor of Shawnee showed up. But my wife's first game was 299. Monday, I went down more to be for her. Anyway, she was that good. And then I wanted to tell you, I had baseball was my main hobby, and I loved it. When I was 14 and 15 years old, I played with Floyd and Kenny Boyer from Alba, which became players for the Cardinals. And then Sherm Lawler came up from Fayetteville, and we played Bad Johnson ball together before he went into service. But anyway, I never will forget it because when I was Park and Recreation Director at Joplin, I went to Union Station in Kansas City, and at 6 o'clock in the morning, somebody hollered my name, and it was Kenny Boyer and Stan Musial. And we went in and had breakfast together. And I became very close friends with the Boyer boys. And Matt Mullen, the baseball coach, Mac Murray, the baseball coach here, we're going to go visit Floyd because he wants to find out about pitching from Floyd. Floyd lived over here by Purcell. But I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate everything. And I want to tell the people, but I think that the college has got the best coaching staff in the world. And you know, I can only say this, once a gorilla, always a gorilla. And God bless everybody.